Well, hello, Tube. We are in a different location for the next few videos with incredibly poor lighting and everything else. My apologies. We are doing a fall cleanup. Um, Long story short, we're just trying to catch up on some of the housework that we've haven't been having time to do lately. So my book room is literally filled with stuff that is either donation or we're just going to get rid of. And so I literally can't get to my computer chair to do a video in there right at the moment. So we're here with this awesome, ugly background and poor lighting. But we'll make do. Probably before a few videos, so my apologies. Um, but we're not here for that. We're here for Doug Stanhope's This Is Not Fame, uh, a From What I Read memoir. The dog isn't helping things, and the neighbors blaring their mariachi music isn't helping things either. But we're just going to make do, because I think Doug Stanhope would approve of neighbors blaring mariachi music. I just do. Will you find a place to lay down? My audio is already going to be bad. Your little tippity tappities aren't helping matters much. We're going to make do. If you like this sort of thing, hit the sub button, hit the thumbs up button. If you don't like this sort of thing, hit the thumbs down button. I don't really care. If this is your first video, I apologize. My videos aren't very good on a good day. This is 2 minutes in, and we're already. All right, Doug Stanhope, born March 25th, 1967. By the way, I have an affiliate link to bookshop.org down below. If you use it to purchase this book or any other book, I get a small commission. You get an awesome book at no extra cost to yourself. Um, what is Doug Stanhope best known for? Well, if not nothing really, probably, unless you're into the Joe Rogan sphere of comedians, you probably have never heard of the guy. Him and Joe briefly did the Man Show on Comedy Central, and if you were a fan of the Girls Gone Wild series back in the mid aughts, you probably know who he is. He did some of those, like hosted some of those videos. That became a whole ordeal that he talks about in this book. Um, this book was originally published December 5th, 2017, and I believe it was his third book. Don't quote me on that. Something I should probably know. Um, I, of course, listen to the audio because when a comedian has a book, a memoir, whatever, get the audiobook, especially Doug Stanhope. Um, he reads it, and it's almost like a podcast in a way where him and his friend Chad Shank kind of do like split the duties of the reading it, and they banter back and forth on whether basically Doug Stanhope remembers things correctly, and then if there's differing opinions on what actually happened. There's usually a lot of booze and or drugs that are involved in his stories. Um, they go back and forth. It's fantastic, fantastic. The audiobook, fantastic. But according to Hatchet um, Book Group, this is kind of the synopsis that they give. An unfiltered, unapologetic, hilarious, and sometimes is obscene. Sometimes obscene assemblage of tales from the down and dirty traveling comedy circuit. Doug Stanhope has been drunkenly stumbling down the back roads and dark alleys of. Can you find a place to lay down, please? Please. Of stand-up comedy for over a quarter of a century. Roads laden with dank bars, prostitutes, cheap drugs, farm animals, evil dwarfs, public nudity, menacing third world police, psychotic breaks, sex offenders, and some understandable suicides. Just for levity. While other comedians are seeking fame, Doug Stanhope was seeking immediate gratification, dark spectacle, or sometimes just his pants. Not to say he hasn't rubbed elbows with fame. He crashed its party, snorted its coke, and jumped into its pool naked. Literally and often repeatedly. all while artfully dodging fame himself. Doug spares no legal permissible detail, and the stories couldn't be told any other way. They're weird, uncomfortable, gross, disturbing, and effing funny. This is not fame. I try to keep it PG here. We're going to try. I feel like it's going to be at least PG 13. This is not fame is by no means a story of overcoming a life of excess immorality and reckless buffoonery. It's an outright celebration of it. For Stanhope, the party goes on. The dog is now just staring into the kid's room like there's an evil demon sitting in there, which there could be. You never know. Who knows what they're conjuring up in the middle of the night? So, this is not fame. It's basically stories of him on the road with various people. It's dark. It's disturbing. Um, it's not for the weak of heart. There's parts that probably will make you angry. There's parts are going to offend you. It's just what it is, unapologetically. It's fantastic. It's awesome. Go read it. Go listen to the audiobook. Don't read it. Well, you can read it if you want. I mean, there's no reason of owning the actual physical book unless you want a picture of him in full frontal nudity. I mean, just get the audiobook. The audiobook is money. It's where it's at. It's hilarious. It's how I listened to it. It's how I enjoyed it. And just briefly, there was actually a story in here that kind of hit close to home where he talks about being stuck at the Denny's, and he called it, I think he said Rock Island, which there's no Denny's in Rock Island. There's a Denny's in Moline next to the airport, which I think actually is closed now. I don't think it's still there. Where he basically had to leave his wife Bingo. I think they were married then. I think they're married now. Maybe they never got married. I don't know. His significant other Bingo, where he pretty much had to leave her at the Denny's in the Quad Cities to go do his stand-up show. Yeah, his Bingo was having a mental breakdown in the Denny's in the Quad Cities. I found that very charming. I loved it. Um, but yeah, I don't know what else to say. By no all means, if you're not into dirty comedy, don't go looking up who he is. Don't go on. But there's a bunch of his stand up out there. Don't go watching it. He's going to I like dirty comedy. I think it's great. I like it. I like it. And still his stand up. I don't know whether to laugh, cry, vomit, get angry. It hits on so many emotions. It just does, and it's a great thing because at the end of the day, that's what comedy should do. It should affect you, and it should do more than just make you sit there and chuckle. Like it should also make you think. And there isn't a subject that he won't touch on, and I think that's a great thing. I really do. There, good luck canceling this guy because he can't. He lives in Bisbee, Arizona. That's about as canceled as you can get, and he loves it there. So, um, Doug's Hand. Hope this is not fame. I did not do this book justice. I know I didn't. This is just a rush job. Horrible, horrible video. I read this for Garbaugus, so I read this months ago, and finally getting around to a video on it. It's not fresh in my head. However, it doesn't need to be. Go listen to the audiobook. Fantastic. I don't care if you don't have an Audible and you have to pay the full price. Go pay the full price. Go get it from one of the other sites. It's just go listen to it. Fantastic. That's it for this one, peeps. Cheers.